What's up, wildflowers? Figured I haven't done the card pull in a while, and I haven't gone live in way longer than that, so I would pull a card for today, which is Sunday, March 23rd. I'm using my Animal Spirit Oracle deck, so I'll probably be reading from that book because it's not tarot. But if anybody pops on, then I can pull a card for them. Get the Elephant. Again, I'm not familiar with this deck, but I like that he's holding a flame. I know that in another Animal Oracle deck that I have, the elephant represents remembering your ancestors, which kind of gives me like an ancestral flame here. And he's got the red dot right by his third eye, which red is usually root. So again, that kind of gives me that feeling of like ancestral roots. So maybe it's calling for us to kind of connect with our ancestors and kind of remember where we're from. And that's all just off the top of my head. So I'm going to read it from the book too to see what. This book, I've been playing with this deck recently. It's Animal Spirit by Kim Krans, Krans. And one of my gripes is that there's no table of contents, so I have to like search through. Oh, and the upward triangle is fire, which makes sense because he's got the little flame there. All right, Elephant. Unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles, so if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. When elephant is in balance, there's one pointed focus, generous, loving feelings. When out of balance, you are misunderstanding your fate. And to bring into balance, it's about trust. So I think that we can. So with Oracle decks, they tell you to kind of look at the symbolism. You know, every deck comes with a book. Even tarot decks come with books. And I like this, and it can confuse people at the same time. So it's the way you approach it, I feel. So every tarot deck most tarot decks, I should say, because some tarot decks don't come with a book, but most tarot decks will come with a book, and it'll tell you like what each card means. And oftentimes, each book has its own spin on it. Like, every card will have the kind of general meaning and touch upon the same themes, but there will be this different spin in everything because it's different authors and different people's approach. And so it's the same with tarot readers, is when you can get a reading from 3 different tarot readers, and each one tells you a little bit something different about what the card means. And so it's about knowing what the card means, but also trusting your intuition and looking at the symbolism in the particular deck. And even myself, like different readings, I'll read a card differently depending on the question, depending on the energy I'm getting from the person, depending on the cards around it. So going kind of off of just the basics of what the book says, plus my gut reaction, I would say that the message that that elephant brings us can be connected. So like my gut was the ancestral lineage and connecting with our ancestors. And then the book talks about trusting in your fate, trusting in the guidance. It talks about good fortune working through obstacles, but also sometimes the elephant, or broadening it out, the universe will give us those obstacles, right? So we say that we want something. Oftentimes with goals, we set the goal, right? But it's really not so much, well, I won't say that. So to get to a goal, there's setting the goal, there's the action steps to getting the goal. That's going to get you to the goal. But another huge chunk of it, I will say, is becoming the person that is capable of having that goal, or capable of handle it's like a careful what you wish for kind of thing. Like once you get the goal, you have to be the type of person that can live that life and live up to that. So for example, if your goal is, we'll go finances. If your goal is to make $1 million, right? You also have to be the person that can handle that. Because think about more, so statistics show that people who win the lottery oftentimes lose it within all the money within a couple of years. Some even go bankrupt, end up in a worse spot than they are, because they were just handed this chunk of money, but they didn't have money management skills. They didn't know how to invest or how to save or how to budget. So they have this big chunk of money, and the typical money mindset is, what can I do with this, right? And then it's in the door and out the door. And so if your goal is financial, for example, and you want to make $1 million, then what you really should be focusing on, almost first and foremost, is becoming that person that can handle having $1 million, or you're going to blow it. So what happens is the universe sometimes will throw things in your way, right? And so then people start thinking, well, this whole law of attraction, this whole manifesting, this whole thing is BS, right? Like I'm just not meant to have $1 million, because I put $1 million on my vision board, and every day I wake up and I say, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm doing my affirmations, and I have this plan that I'm going to do XYZ to make the $1 million, right? So I've done all of the things I was supposed to do, and all of a sudden my car broke down, and I put this chunk of money away, and all of a sudden the heater in my house blew up, right? And so you start to think the universe is against me. I'm not meant to make this money. But really what it is the universe is throwing these obstacles in your way, and it's saying, okay, what are you going to do when there's a bump in the road? What are you going to do when there's a lull in the money coming in? What are you going to do when there's an emergency? And what the universe wants to see is what you're going to do now, like based on who you are now before you make the $1 million. Because sure, I mean, in today, $1 million sometimes isn't that much money, but so if you have all the money in the world, right, and your heater breaks, that's one of the creature comforts of having the money, right? It's that you've got it in the bank. Here you go. Done. Problem solved. So yes, it's a lot easier when you have the money to deal with it. So it's almost unfair, right? But it is a test. It's a test from the universe to say, what are you going to do with this? Like, how are you going to handle your money when we give it to you? And it's not necessarily that it's keeping it, but the goal is to shape you into that person, that handles the hardships. So yes, in this particular deck, the elephant represents, if you're feeling stuck, the elephant is coming to clear the obstacles, but also that kind of warning that it could be the elephant placing the obstacles. And then going back to my intuition with the card with the ancestors, maybe it's your ancestors, maybe, maybe it's your guides that are putting it. And so sitting down and trusting, instead of panicking when these roadblocks hit, and instead of throwing it all in the garbage and burning it all down and saying, maybe I wasn't meant for this, trusting and trying to communicate and get in touch with your guides, with your ancestors, with the universe, with God, with the Holy Spirit, with whoever is your guiding light, and saying, okay, what is this teaching me? What is this trying to shape me into to get me there? So that's what we're getting with Elephant. I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday. We made it this far, so you're probably watching the replay if you are at the end of this. So if you want a reading of your own, you can always message me. I'm doing a deal in April for my tarot coaching program, which is pay what you can afford, which is a huge deal. Also, my rent goes up in April, so I'm going to hold on as long as I can. And then my prices are going to go up just a little bit. You know me, I don't try to gouge you, but just a little bit so that I can keep paying my bills and keep putting out this and everything that I am trying to put out into the universe, while still staying afloat. So I hope you understand. And in pre-apology, I'm going to do that this deal for April, where my coaching program is usually $85. It is going up to $105, I think is what I said. Or $400 a month with 4 weekly coaching. And there's a whole process. It's much more in depth than a regular tarot reading, where you can ask one question or have a general area of focus. With the coaching, we go through all the areas, we balance everything. We've got a bullseye goal, but we also have goals in all of the areas, and we work our way up, kind of like what the elephant was talking about, shaping us into who we can be to become that person. So it's a really in-depth, really, I think, really helpful, program. You are doing the work, but I am here as your spiritual cheerleader. And as your coach, we look at tarot, and we look at other aspects, and we just kind of chunk down the action steps, and we just keep you accountable, and we keep check on your progress. I think that is the most useful way to use tarot. So I want people to access this and see what it is, and how it differs from tarot, and see if it's something that can help you. So for April, I'm going to offer pay what you can. So if it's the full price because you want to support me and you want me to keep being able to do what I do, that's great. If it's 50% off, if it is 75% off, if it is $1 because you are really in the thick of it and you need help, but you don't have the finances, I'll take it. I just want to be able to reach people, and help them in any way that I can. So, know that is an option coming up in April, which is about a week and a couple days away. And I can start booking those sessions now, or you can always hit me up for a regular tarot reading anytime. And I'll try to get these. I know that I've been busy and not getting these videos out as much as I should. Or not should. I'm not going to should on myself, but as much as I'd like to. I like to try to get as much free content as my time and energy will allow, so that I can, again, reach out to people. That's always been my goal, setting the prices and things, is to reach as many people as I can, without kind of selling myself too short. So that's been kind of my financial thing is, I know that some people don't think you should charge for tarot. Some people think that I should be charging a lot more, and some people are in the middle, and that's fine. You can't make everybody happy, but I try. I am trying to build a business here where I can reach and help as many people as I can without kind of feeling like I'm taking too much, but also without leaving myself depleted. Sometimes, I had another tarot reader explain it to me and I liked that, where it's, everything is an exchange of energy, and money is energy. So when you're trying to attract money, really what you're trying to do is attract the energy of money. So when you are using your gifts and your knowledge and your tools to help others, that's an exchange of energy. And when you need to pay your rent and your mortgage and feed your children, sometimes the money given to you is their exchange of energy. So that's that. And I'm going to go get ready for the rest of my day, since everybody seems to be having a Sunday away from electronics. I hope that would be good. Talk to you soon.